She stole bread, the manager shouted loudly, grabbing the trembling old woman in front of everyone while a police officer stepped forward, his expression suddenly shifting in a way no one noticed. Shoppers froze mid-step as the officer took the bread from her weak hands, his sharp eyes studying her face, while the manager demanded punishment, unaware this moment was about to expose a painful truth. Before we dive in, let us know in the comments what time is it and where are you watching from. Let's start. The air turned heavy as whispers spread fast, filling the store with tension and judgment. The old woman clutched her worn hoodie tightly, her fragile body shaking as she tried to speak, but her voice cracked under pressure, and the manager harshly cut her off without giving her a chance. The officer leaned closer, noticing something unusual in her eyes, not guilt, but deep fear, while the manager pointed aggressively, insisting she be arrested to set an example in front of everyone watching. She slowly lowered her gaze, unable to defend herself as murmurs echoed around her, and the officer hesitated, sensing that her silence was not hiding a crime, but protecting something painful. A man in the crowd raised his phone to record, turning the moment into public humiliation, while the manager stepped forward again, raising his voice to assert control over the entire situation. The officer gently asked why she took the bread, but she remained quiet for a moment, her lips trembling, as if the truth she carried was too heavy to be spoken in front of strangers. The manager mocked her silence, calling it proof of guilt, but the officer raised his hand firmly, stopping him, as something about her fragile state made him question everything unfolding. She finally whispered, her voice barely audible, "I had no choice," and those words fell into the silence like a weight, making even the harshest eyes in the crowd begin to soften. The officer's grip loosened slightly, his expression shifting, while the manager scoffed loudly, claiming it was just another excuse used by people trying to escape responsibility. The woman slowly opened the bread packet, revealing she hadn't eaten a single piece, which confused everyone watching, including the officer, who now looked at her with deeper concern. Her hands trembled as she held the bread close to her chest, as if it was something far more valuable than food, while silent tears rolled down her tired, weathered face. The officer asked again, this time softer, "Who is it for?" And the question struck deep, making her struggle to hold back emotions that had been building for far too long. The manager sighed impatiently, but the crowd leaned in, sensing this was not just a simple theft, but a story waiting to unfold, something far more human than they expected. She finally spoke, her voice shaking. "My husband. He hasn't eaten in 2 days." And the entire store fell into a deep silence as the weight of her words hit everyone at once. The officer blinked slowly, absorbing what she said, while the manager's expression shifted slightly, though he still tried to hold on to his earlier anger in front of the crowd. The woman explained that her husband was too weak to walk, bedridden and starving, and she had spent her last money on his medicine, leaving her with nothing but desperation. The officer looked down at the bread, then back at her, realizing this was not theft driven by greed, but a desperate act driven by love and the will to keep someone alive. The manager crossed his arms, still trying to resist sympathy, repeating that rules must be followed, but his voice no longer carried the same confidence as before. The officer asked where her husband was, and she pointed toward the entrance, explaining she had left him outside because she could not carry both him and hope at the same time. A heavy silence spread through the store as the officer slowly turned toward the door, his instincts now guiding him beyond rules and into something deeper and more human. He told the manager to stay back, then gently helped the woman walk, his authority now replaced with quiet compassion, while the crowd followed behind, curious and uneasy. Outside, the cold air hit them, and there he was, an old man barely conscious on a bench, his fragile body shaking, his eyes closed as if he had already given up. The officer rushed forward and knelt beside him, checking his condition quickly, while the woman stood nearby, holding the bread like it was their last chance at survival. The man slowly opened his eyes and whispered his wife's name, and the officer froze for a moment, realizing this was no longer just a situation. It was a fight for life. The manager stood behind them, silent and shaken, his earlier anger fading into discomfort as he faced the reality he had judged without understanding even for a second. The officer quickly called for medical help, his voice urgent, while holding the old man's hand, something inside him breaking as he witnessed their suffering. The woman knelt beside her husband, feeding him a small piece of bread with trembling hands, her eyes filled with both relief and pain in the same moment. Tears filled the officer's eyes as he looked away briefly, overwhelmed by the raw reality of the moment, something no training or experience had prepared him for. The manager slowly stepped forward, his face pale, guilt growing within him as he realized his harsh words had only added to their pain. The officer stood up and looked at him, not with anger, but with a silence that carried more meaning than any words could ever express. The crowd that once judged now stood quietly, some lowering their phones, others wiping tears, as understanding replaced the curiosity they once had. The ambulance arrived quickly, and paramedics carefully lifted the old man, while the woman refused to let go of his hand even for a second. The officer gently placed the bread back into her hands, but now it was no longer evidence. It had become something sacred, a symbol of love and survival. The manager stepped forward, struggling to speak, his voice breaking as he tried to apologize, but words felt too small for what had already happened. The woman did not respond to him, not out of anger, but because her focus remained on her husband, showing that love often speaks louder than anything else. The officer turned to the manager and quietly said, "Sometimes rules need humanity," and those words hit deeper than any punishment ever could. The manager lowered his head slowly, realizing that power without empathy becomes cruelty, something he had just become part of in front of everyone. As the ambulance doors closed, the woman looked back at the officer, her eyes filled with gratitude that no words could fully express. The officer nodded slightly, his emotions barely held back as he stepped away and watched them.
Your shadow lingers in the silence, like a song that never
slowly
ends.
dispersed.
Every corner holds your memory.
Carrying a piece
Every
of the
night
truth
I
they
break
had just
again.
witnessed.
I know time has pulled you farther to a place I cannot reach, but my heart still leaves the door open for a dream beyond belief.
Inside the store, everything looked
I'm still waiting for your footsteps, though I know they'll never come. Holding on to broken echoes of a love already untrue. Somewhere deep inside this broken heart, I still belong to you.
Only acknowledgement of what had just unfolded.
People tell me keep on moving, that some endings must remain. But how do I stop believing when your name still calls my pain? I'm still waiting for your footsteps, though I know they'll never come. Holding on to broken echoes of a love already gone. I'm still waiting for your return, though the stars say it's untrue. Somewhere deep inside this broken heart, I still belong to you.
Her face calmer now, as hope slowly returned. Doctors worked quickly to stabilize him while she whispered softly, thanking him for holding on.
Maybe hope is
Back at the
just a
store,
prison.
the manager gathered
Maybe
his
love can
His tone
blind the
changed,
soul.
speaking
But
about
even
understanding
knowing
people
you
before
won't
judging.
find me,
The
I still
employees
wait
listened carefully,
here.
sensing this was not just a speech, but a lesson learned through a painful
I'm
moment.
still waiting for your footsteps, though I know they'll never come. Holding on to broken echoes of a love already gone. I'm still waiting for your return, though the stars say it's untrue. Somewhere deep inside this broken heart, I still belong.
Knowing that real change is shown through actions, not words, and the manager had finally understood. Weeks later, the old couple returned, walking slowly but together, stronger than before, their presence filling the space with quiet emotion. The manager stepped forward to welcome them with quiet respect, offering help without hesitation, his harsh authority replaced by a calm humility shaped by the lesson he could never forget. The woman responded with a faint but sincere smile, accepting his kindness without words, proving that even deep pain can soften when someone truly changes their heart. The officer stood at a distance, observing silently, realizing that a single moment of truth had shifted not just one life, but everyone who had witnessed it unfold.
Like a stranger,
Those who once judged so quickly would never fully grasp how close they came to misunderstanding a story built on love, sacrifice,
I
and
still
silent
see
suffering.
you in the
That simple
distance,
loaf of bread,
like
once
a
called
light I
story,
used to
had
know.
become a powerful symbol
Your
of
laughter
survival,
shines for someone
devotion,
else now.
and the invisible
While I
struggles people
watch
carry
and let
behind
it
quiet
go.
faces.
Close
officer
enough to
slowly looked
feel
around the
your
store again,
presence,
seeing
far
it not as a
enough
place
to
of
lose
rules,
my place.
but as a space where
Just a
humanity
shadow
had finally
in your
taken
story,
priority
a
over
forgotten name,
The manager
a
stood
fading
nearby,
face.
no longer driven by control or
I
pride.
quietly keep watching you, like a stranger passing by, standing outside your love story, while my own heart asks me why. I'm the silence in the background, the one you'll never choose, loving you without belonging,
Expressing a silent
with everything to
never fully
lose.
captured. No one spoke in that,
I don't speak my
because
hidden
the silence
feelings,
itself
I don't
carried a
reach to
depth
change your way.
far greater
So I
than
bury
anything
all my
could have been said
heartache
aloud.
and love you from far away. I quietly keep watching you, like a stranger passing by,
He realized
standing
justice
outside
was not
your
always
love
found
story, while
And
my
truth is
own
not
heart
always
asks me
visible.
why. I'm the
often
silence in the background,
Life
the
outside
one you'll never choose, loving you without belonging,
something
with
meaningful
everything to lose.
But for those who had been there, who had truly seen what happened, nothing about that place would ever feel the same again. Because sometimes
Stop
sometimes
searching
those
your eyes
truths
for
come from the
me.
very people we are
But
quickest to
until
judge
then I'll
without
stay in
understanding their
shadow,
story.
where
The
your
officer
heart
glanced
will
back,
never be.
knowing this experience would remain with him far
I
beyond
quietly keep watching you, like a stranger passing by, standing outside your love story, while my own heart asks me why. I'm the silence in the background, the one you'll never choose, loving you without
The
belonging,
story ends here, but its meaning
with
stays with you. So
everything
like,
to
subscribe,
lose.
and return for the next journey that might change how you see the world.